Norma, can you check to see if the attorneys are zooming in?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Hello, Mr. Martinez.
Hello, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Medellin.
Mr. Medellin is getting ready to log in right now. We just finished pleading in court 9.
All right, so then, and with the plea in County Court 9, this will be taken care of, correct?
Oh, no. He had to plead in 9 in order to come over here and plead to a deferred on the evading case.
Okay. All right. Who is the prosecutor?
Marcus and I have been dealing with this one.
Okay. All right, well, we'll get the paperwork for your client ready.
Wonderful, Judge. I'm here.
All right, awesome. And is Marcus Sanders here?
I am, Judge.
All right, so he says his client is coming over to do the plea.
Okay, Lewis, can you text? I can't remember if you did already. Norma and I, his email address.
Sure. Let me go and just put that in the chat right now.
Thanks.
Judge, can I see you in a breakout room?
Yes. I can meet you in breakout room number 1.
Okay.
Man, this has been a crappy week.
All right, so we will wait for parties to present their info. All right, Mr. Medine.
Yes.
Hi, your attorney should be here, Luis Martinez. So I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 1. And so the paperwork should be coming to you. And Luis, if you can make sure that you put in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson what the agreement is so she can send her paperwork as well. And she'll need your client's email address.
Yes, I've got the email address in the chat, and I think we're just still talking about what the details were on the deal, but we have an agreement for deferred. I think it's the details we're still hashing out a little bit, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Brenda, thank you for my flowers. They keep coming every month. This is like an awesome idea.
You're welcome.
Flowers, and it has all my colors that I love. The lavenders in there. Brandon.
Been double zooming all morning. Solid. I jumped on as soon as I can.
Oh, that's okay. We're here from 9 to 5. You have Rudy Rodriguez. He has a violation report.
Okay.
And I always like to have us address these violation reports, but this is the second violation report. And he has an active warrant. And I see he's on GPS. So I don't know why people are saying that he has an active warrant as though no one knows where he is. So, Ms. Ferguson, can you have the pretrial services officer come into the court, zoom into the court, please?
Yes, ma'am. You can
It's
give
for-
me just a moment, Judge.
Thank you. It's Fernando Vasquez. Brenda, I thought the reason you have GPS on it so people will know where you are. Obviously, we don't know where he is, Mr. Lopez.
I wonder why we putting those on if we're not working.
So either it has been removed and I haven't received documentation that it's been removed. So we shall see.
Is the violation report the new out of county court 2? Is that what it is?
Yes, but I will tell you, unless something has happened, it says that he's in compliance in our court with tracking, but they have him as a fugitive out of county court 2.
Huh. Oh, maybe I guess it's that large, probably.
Yeah, it could be. Everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Brenda, I'll be right back. It's Rebecca.
Okay.
All right, I am back. So I don't know if you want to check in with County Court 2 as well and see about this no bond amount, because he's listed as a fugitive on that one. And it doesn't show that he's a fugitive on the case out of here.
I will.
So I don't know if you want to call County Court 2, and we'll wait for the pretrial services officer to zoom in here so we can see what's going on.
Yeah, let me double check. I'm almost certain because I've had previously. She doesn't set it until he gets arrested, but let me find out.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lopez, you're back?
Yes, Judge, we spoke with County Court 2. It is an at-large warrant, and the clerk said that there's no bond because he hasn't been magistrated. So I think that her policy is not to set bond until magistration.
All right, so is there, Ms. Ferguson, I'm assuming this interference with an emergency phone call. I'm assuming that's just a regular case, otherwise it would be in 7 or 13. So is there a felony prosecutor available?
I'm here, Judge.
All right, Joe Ray, is there any way you can confer with Brandon Lopez and find out some more information on the cause number out of County Court 2? The cause number is 678-478. Based upon the violation report I have, it appears that the defendant is in compliance with his GPS tracking, but Brandon is telling me that this was an at-large misdemeanor case. So I'm wondering if you all can go to breakout room number 2 to discuss this in the violation report.
Okay, we can.
All right, I sent you to number 2. Thank you for buzzing in. Right, any updates?
Yes, Judge, it does seem like an ABI is going to be filed. The prosecutor was able to determine that it looked like it went to 2 intakes, so there is an ABI that's going to be filed along with that one.
All right, and so where is your client?
I don't know. I
you
don't
look-
have good contact with him.
All right, just one moment. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes,
have
ma'am.
you had an update on the pretrial services officer, Fernando Vasquez?
I did send him a message through Skype, Judge. It said he was out of the office for about 5 minutes. So I have not heard back from him. I did send him the Zoom link by email, but he hasn't responded back. It said he had stepped out for about 5 minutes.
All right, well, just give us a moment. To the clerks, you should be receiving paperwork on Medellin. All right, Mr. Lopez, we're gonna see if we can have the pretrial services officer zoom in.
Sounds good, Judge.
Thank you.
Judge, we're gonna have someone else zoom in, so give me just 1 second.
All right, are the prosecutors ready on Medellin?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. Court is calling 2020 CR 0572, State of Texas versus Israel, Medellin. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Luis Martinez.
And are you Mr. Medellin?
Yes,
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Judge.
Mr. Medellin, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Medellin, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Medellin, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with evading arrest, detention of vehicle? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for it, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be able to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge, yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes to both questions, Judge.
Mr. Medellin, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm
No.
sorry. No, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I was like, Luis, what have you been doing?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Has anyone promised that woke you up? That's like ice cold water being thrown on somebody.
Yeah, no, ma'am. I messed up. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am. I am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain agreement. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's to be a $1,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. This is where I'm concurrent with 622689, which is a judgment satisfied. The state will take in consideration cause numbers 2020 CR 2229, grand jury number 7077817, and there's to be no contact with Scott, SCOTT, Wagner, WAGNER. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
It is, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver Repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There have been none, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution, and the MRT course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, state offers states Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any
And Judge,
objections?
that's without objection, Judge.
Mr. Medellin, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after viewing states Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge, we'd like to waive PSI and proceed to sentencing today.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, first of all, I want to thank the state for working with us and accepting proof of how well Mr. Medellin doing currently in life and giving him a very reasonable plea bargain in this case. But I asked the court to accept the plea bargain under the recommendations, and I simply ask if the court would consider probating part of that fine. Mr. Medellin does have a child now. He's done a lot of growing up since this happened in 2019. He's been accepting of the advice and counsel that I've given him, which I think speaks to his maturity. So, it's a big day in a man's life when he realizes that he doesn't know that he doesn't know everything. And Mr. Medellin's gotten there, Judge. So I'm asking the court in recognition of that to consider probating part of that fine.
All right, Mr. Medellin, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I do detailing for my dad's company.
All right, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I'll be negative of everything.
Okay. How far did you go in school?
I went all the way to 11th.
Do you have your GED or did you graduate?
No, ma'am, but I'm in the process of getting my diploma.
What does that mean in the process?
I'm gonna do like a class online to get my diploma.
All right, this is what I tell everybody who comes to court. When they say they're in the process of doing something, at some point, it has to be actions with the process. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. You will look up and your child will be in middle school and you're still in the process.
No, ma'am, I have to do it for the probation I'm on as of on right now. So it's something I have to do.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court will sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's $1,000 fine probated. This will run concurrent with 622689. The court will show that that judgment was satisfied. Take in consideration 2020 CR 2229. Grand jury number 7077817. There's to be no contact with Scott Wagner. The MRT course, 150 hours community service restitution. The court will waive 40 of those hours if you provide proof that you've had the COVID vaccination that includes the booster. The court is not requiring anyone to get the vaccination, but if you have, or if you do, and you provide proof, 40 of those hours will be deducted. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or minors. Parenting classes, you must complete those. If you complete those, then the remaining of your community service hours will be waived. There's to be regular UAs, field visits, random, 2 times per month. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, ma'am, that's everything.
Mr. Medellin, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Medellin, the MRT course, that's a course that people should have learned when they were in elementary school. And basically it is do what's right.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. So you have a child. Is it a boy or a girl?
I have a son.
How old is he?
He's 4 now.
All right, so here's the thing about that. You want your child to be able to look up to you and be proud of you.
Yes,
So from
for
here
sure.
on out, everything that you do, there are 2 things you need to think of. You need to think of your son and how would this impact him or affect him, and what would he think of you? And you also need to know that you're on deferred adjudication out of the 187 District Court. And if you mess up, you may go to prison for 10 years. And you know what that means if you were to go to prison for 10 years? At most, you would serve 10 years. And at most, when you got out, your son would be 14 years old. And you will have missed all the important milestones in his life. So don't do that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Communication is going to be key for you to communicate with probation. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Medellin. I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 2. Probation will meet you there. Mr. Martinez, you can go to 2, or either we can talk about Austin Young. All right, Officer Vasquez.
Oh, he's going to breakout.
Are you on a phone, an iPhone?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Oh, this is great. I love it when people are on iPhones, because then I can turn it over to Brenna. He's trying to go to breakout room number 2.
I think you just tap the screen and you'll see something.
Join breakout room?
Yes.
Okay.
It is so much easier than the Android, but okay. All right, so who is the attorney on, the prosecutor on Mr. Rudy Rodriguez? That was Joe Ray. All right, Officer Vasquez, I received a
Your Honor.
second violation. Hi, thanks for zooming in. I appreciate it.
Yes, no problem, no problem.
All right, I received a second violation report on Rudy Rodriguez. So
Yes,
he had a
correct,
case that was filed at large. My understanding is you all know where he is because he's on GPS, or did he remove his GPS?
Let me double check for you, Your Honor. Rudy Rodriguez.
His middle initial is an X.
Yeah, he belongs to my backup while on GPS. Let me just look up her information real quick. And
Because
yes,
he
he's
has-
currently on monitor right now, Your Honor.
So I don't know why people, because he has a warrant out of county court at law number 2. I don't know why people are acting as though they don't know where he is.
No, right now he's located at home.
So the guy who has a warrant that they're looking for in county court at law number 2, he's at his home on GPS.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you know if he lives there by himself?
Just
Or
going
is-
based on his profile, Your Honor, he lives with his mother, Valerie.
All right, so I'm trying to, Mr. Lopez, I'm not accepting that what happened from the cases out of county court at law number 2 is true. but he has a 3 p.m. curfew. And I'm wondering where this new incident is alleged to have happened. Does anyone know? I'm thinking it wasn't at his mom's house, but it could have been. I don't know.
I can pull it up and find out.
All right. And then the other question I have, Mr. Lopez, when is the county court to matter? Because he's on GPS.
Well, Judge, we don't have a date because he hasn't been magistrated.
All right. Do you know when you anticipate taking care of that?
Well, on his misdemeanor cases, he has Tony Hernandez at the county court 2, and I'm not sure if that's appointed or hired.
Mhm.
Hired. So to be honest, I seriously doubt Mr. Rodriguez even knows he has these cases pending.
Okay. All right. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to change his curfew to full GPS. And Mr. Lopez, that full GPS will just be there until we figure out what's going on with the misdemeanor cases.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Is it possible, can I get this order sent to us so I can go ahead and make the changes to his GPS monitor? I'll go ahead
Yes.
and change him to full house.
Sure. Just one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Robert, if you can put your email address in the chat box to the clerk. He's listed as Clerk Robert, and he'll have this sent to you.
I appreciate it, Your Honor.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
once that's taken care of in 2, then we can take care of whatever matters. But I don't feel comfortable issuing a judge's warrant where we don't even know anything about the new cases. And what I'm being told from pretrial services report is that he's not in violation of
Right.
these court's orders.
And I think I can see the court's intentions. I think full GPS will inspire him to take some affirmative action to see what's going on in county court 2.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, I want to make sure that Mr. Lopez is staying on partial GPS because, he has a wife and 4 kids he needs to support. I just want to make sure that I advocate for that right now.
Well, you know what I want to advocate for? I want to advocate for people who are in relationships to stop putting the 187th District Court, me, as the bad person, because you all keep setting stuff for Valentine's Day as an excuse for why you didn't plan ahead. I'm just throwing that out there.
It doesn't work for me, Judge, because my wife has seen, the process herself, so I can't make up lies.
All right.
All
Have
right,
a
Judge.
good one. All right. All right. So thank you, Mr. Vasquez. They'll be sending that to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have yourself a blessed rest of the day, okay?
Oh, thank you. You too. Have a blessed day.
Bye.
All right. The next thing we have, and the last thing we have, actually, we have Austin Young. Where's Mr. Young? You're on mute.
I'm sorry, Judge. I apologize. Judge, Dan Vella made the bond in that case. So the notice was sent to him, then it kind of got to me and we had a little confusion. I was hoping maybe we could recall that. And for the court's information, we're getting close to resolving those matters on Mr. Young.
All right. So let's recall it for tomorrow because this is his 3rd violation report.
I understand, Judge.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Young, we're going to recall this for tomorrow.
Okay, Judge.
Thank you. All right. And then are you going to go into the breakout room with your client or are you done?
I think
I mean,
I'm
if you
done,
want
Judge.
to, you can. If not, you're excused.
I'm going to go ahead and leave. I've been on Zoom for probably like 7 hours today. And
Okay.
Yeah.
See, you never should say that. You know how long we've been on Zoom?
oh, no. But my Zoom involved running down to Atascosa County because Pearl wouldn't call me back to tell me whether it was Zoom or live. And so I ran down to Jordanton and then did Zooms there and then found out it was on Zoom and then drove to Poteet and waited and did a couple of hearings there.
Oh,
and
did
then
you pick up some strawberries while you're in Poteet?
they're not in season, Judge.
Well,
it's
what is
coming,
HEB
we're-
doing? They have strawberries at the grocery store and they look
we're-
nice.
We're almost there. Those are like, they come from like Chile or something, Judge. It's,
I always say drives are nice and take advantage of the drives. Maybe, we used to always drive to Ruston, Brenna. Ruston peaches. Oh my gosh, they were so mouth-watering. And everyone would sell them on the side of the road and you would stop and get some. But here we are.
I've managed to do 4 pleas and get a dismissal and a couple of other appearances and that trip to Poteet. I think I had like 7 minutes for lunch. So it's been one of those days, Judge.
Okay, well,
So.
Brenna had inmates flirting with her, so.
I'm sure that is not an isolated incident, Judge, either with her or you. So.
All right. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Now
Thank you,
Brenna is
Judge.
blushing. Okay. All right, Norma, the last one we have is Mr. Wilkinson. Let's do this. I'm going to give his defense attorney one last chance to contact him because he hasn't zoomed back. So let's give Mr. Bohack, let's recall this for tomorrow as well. All right, and then that will be all we have for today, everyone.
Hold off on the docket, look back.
Okay. I'm going to stop live stream. And Rebecca, are you not happy? I remembered that you were in a breakout room, so I didn't lock the house.
Yes, so happy.
Okay. All right, let me stop live streaming. We'll be